but no. There's
That's how
actually
this works, huh?
There's actually actors who show up.
Ooh.
And this first young lady is a powerhouse of a person and a powerhouse of a performer. And we start her out because nothing, and I mean nothing, gets the party started like this woman on the stage. Put your hands together for Rachel Miner!
With those introductions.
I don't know. You know, Robbie did this. Rob did a real sultry move with Mike and a hat, and it got everybody all hot and bothered.
There was some exciting stuff going on.
Let me tell you something. Robots really do sweat.
I want to say that as Rachel was taking her position on the stage, and Rob's over there sort of like being a gentleman to make sure she's all set up, I turn over this way and I hear, woo! Which was you kind of giving her a rock and roll scream. But I had this panic moment that like, oh no, something's going pear-shaped over here. Like, Rachel's going, ah! Or, your rock and roll scream and your help are very similar.
You know what? It's bound to happen one of these days.
Yes.
I've fully accepted that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
More likely is that Mike's going to fall off the stage. That's what I worry about.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It is more likely.
Well, you know, Rachel's not falling off the stage. You notice you got your lighted highway there.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I was going for it. There was one time that there was like an odd jaggedness, and I just like had in fear.
And you went in quick. You went in fast. It was scary.
You've been drinking. Yeah, I remember that. It was dark days. But not this morning, ladies and gentlemen, Rachel Miner.
Hello. How are you? I feel like I will, if I keep saying it, somehow people will stop believing it, but I can't stop saying it. I love you all so much. And I mean it. Love you dearly. Are you having a good time? Like, is this the beginning? Okay. Good. It's going to be an awesome weekend. And we've got like no storms or anything happening. It's beautiful. We have good noises happening on this stage. I'll try to keep it up. Do we have questions?
Yes, we do.
Hey, thank you. What's your question?
Well, how was your day?
My day? That's a cool question. My day's going pretty well, actually. I'm really happy to be here. The shower was a really nice shower. That makes a difference. I like the little hotel shampoos and stuff, which is unusual for me, but they're all organic and animal cruelty free and things like that, and that makes me happy. So yeah, it's the little things. How's your day?
It's been pretty nice so far, I'm be honest.
Yeah. Well, I hope it gets better and better.
I'm sure it will.
Do we have, okay. Because I'm going to start asking you questions.
Hi there.
Hey.
So I know you do this all the time. This is my second con. Thank you. I am so ecstatic to be here again. My first one was last year in Denver, and it was, I'd never done anything like that before, and I was just so excited to be there. And I've had a rough couple of years. I'm currently going through a divorce, and that's just the tip of everything that I've been going through. And last year when I went to Denver, it was a really cool experience, and it changed a lot of things for me, and you were a big part of that. And I just really want to thank you. I got to run into you a couple times because of the way everything was set up, and I got to talk to you and stuff, and I finally got to take a photo with you this time, and I'm so ecstatic that I'm here. everything trying to get here was a disaster, trying to travel from Denver to Chicago. But you live and you learn, and through everything you go through, you know, like, you get experience. And I got a lot of that recently, and
Can I just interrupt for a second and
Go
say
ahead.
thank you so much for everything you're saying. And okay, can we all agree life is really hard? Okay, good. Yes, there's not, I think that like making it through is hard, and I think the only way to make it through is with friends. And that's what I feel like we all have found this kind of magic thing where we support each other. And you know, I'm sorry you've been dealing with the difficulties you've been dealing with, and but also let me and everyone else here be here for you to help lift you up, because I think that's how we're all going to make it through. So that's all. Anyway, you can keep going.
well, I don't want to keep rambling, but I did want to just convey to you like how much that event was a catalyst for change in my life. And she wants me to get to a question. I'll be honest, I don't really have a question. I just wanted to tell you how special you are and how grateful I am that I'm here, and just thank you for who you are, and for the fact that you have strength encourages me to have strength within myself. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And right back at you. And seriously, let's just keep doing that for each other, and I'm so glad to know you. Hello. Oh, we now have, we're starting to balance.
We snap
Nice.
out here.
Welcome.
So my question is, what is one thing that you would like us to know? Either something about you or something you just think is important to have out in the world?
Well, I really try to keep putting things out there that I feel are important. One thing, I guess if I had one thing that I could impart in the world, it's that there is still hope. And I know that sounds cheesy, but it's so, I think we all waver, we all go through those moments where it just feels like, what's the point, or are we gonna be able to do this or whatever, and if there's anything that I could, like if I only got to say one thing, it would be, no, we can still do this. All of it. We can still make the world what we think it should be. And let's not forget that, and let's not take our earlier losses to heart too much. Let's learn from them and let's keep going. Is that?
I think that's a really important message for a lot of us right now, because we're feeling kind of hopeless, especially maybe politically.
Yeah. So again, believe me, and I've had some dark days on this too, because of course you do if you're paying attention. But here's one of the things, that the conclusions I finally came to is, you know what? Here's how it could be a good thing. Sometimes, things have gotten so bad that we're not going to keep moving little bit with, going along with the status quo and trying to make small changes for the better. Because you know what? We really don't, and I know this sounds kind of negative, but realistically, we don't have that much time as a human race, as a civilization. We've kind of taken up all of our extra credit, but we've used everything. And we've got to make some big changes for the better and really rethink things and how to establish better systems, because it's not just an individual person, it's just really long-term systemic problems that are manifesting in this way. And so yeah, I feel very strongly, but one of the reasons I love working at RandomX is I feel like it's actually really viable to just say, you know what? We need to create a better world. What does that world look like? And stop playing by whatever old set of rules and trying to win by those. No, I'm just going to totally change the game up and make it a better one. And I think that we're at time. Does that make sense?
Totally. Thank you, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Hello.
So I was wondering if you could have any spin-off of the Harry Potter series, what would you like? The Marauders? Would you like more about their children? What do you think?
Gosh. I can do heavy duty political. This is hard. This is like too important. Don't want to mess this up. Oh my goodness. I feel like I know I actually have like an answer and I'm just trying to get there. I mean, to me, one of the things I love most is the school. So it has to surround that. But also, I don't know, honestly, my ideal spin-off would not be a very interesting spin-off because I think it would be like going through every single text in the library at Hogwarts. I want to somehow like be able to read all of those things of like all the history of magic and learn it all. I am someone who wanted to read the dictionary so that I could learn every word. So yeah, that's not a good or interesting answer, but I think it's a kind of honest one. What about you?
Definitely the Marauders.
Nice. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you for the wonderful question. And I want to see the Marauders.
Hi there.
Hey.
I just want to tell you, for one thing, following you on social media like really makes my day. These little blurbs of sunshine really, really do it for me. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. But my question actually is about Random Acts and Gish. Is there anything new coming up that you're associated with this? I'd love to hear it.
There's always all sorts of new and good plots and plans and stuff. But I don't want to give anything away either. I know I'm excited for the Gishers that are going to go to New Zealand really soon. I'm excited for what's going to come up. I know little bits about some of the Change of Life. We know there will be one, so I feel like I'm not giving anything away there. I'm really excited for it. That's always my favorite part of Gish. As much as I love everything else too, the Change of Life is the most exciting thing to me. And I feel like that's where we shine as this, supernatural family, as Gishers or whatever. It's just showing, again, how you can change the world. And yeah, so that's the thing I'm most excited about probably coming up. Also, we're doing a lot of good childhood hunger acts coming off of the money you all put there with the Bad Idea to Warren and E4K. So I'm very excited for that. Amok is coming up very soon, which will be really fun. Yeah, it's coming up at the end of April. So, yeah, there's always like tons and tons of goodness and good things. But yeah, I like to, sprinkle them across time. So I hope that gave you enough of a good tease.
Thank you for the sprinkles.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Rachel. Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
It's kind of a two-part question.
Yes.
Your tattoos, do they have any meanings? And the second question is, are you planning on getting any more?
Those amazing questions. So tattoos, a couple things. So this is a lotus, which has a lot of meaning like in Buddhism and so forth. I love the significance of that. I won't go into it. I think most people know like the significance of coming out of the mud and it symbolizing enlightenment and all of those things. But I love the idea that, beauty can come out of dirt. It's a good thing. But also, the fact that it's done in watercolor meant something to me because I really love the idea of drawing outside the lines. and not conforming perfectly. So that's what that means. And then I've got an arrow on one arm, and it's a feather quill on the other. And that's partly to remind me to keep writing, and also to always tell the truth. So I kind of thought the straight arrow is like, to me, helps symbolize fearless honesty, and to keep communicating that is the feather quill on the other side. And then on my neck, I've got a symbol, a Tibetan symbol of Tara, which is a bodhisattva of compassion. Really cool one. I love the fact that it's one of those myths that changed over time in culture and things. He started out as a he called Avalokiteshvara, which was supposed to be the original bodhisattva that the Dalai Lama incarnated with, eventually incarnated into the Dalai Lama. I'm totally nerd. I'm gonna put you all to sleep. But basically, and then look up Tara if you want. And then also she became Kuan Yin in Chinese culture later. So like, it's just one of those cool things to see how we adopt and take these ideals and give them different forms. So I really love that. And then I've got a phoenix on my ankle. And I covered up, I had my ex's name tattooed on my ankle. So the phoenix was born out of that. And then I've got a fairy, which was my very first I got when I was 16, and that's on my lower back. I've heard them called tramp stamps, but I think that because I got it when I was 16, it was 1996, I don't think they were called that yet. So I think it's safe. And the fairy was to always remind me to keep that spirit of joy. And I actually debated my mom to allow me to get it, because I said, she was like, yeah, but you're gonna get older and you won't want it anymore and it will always be on your body. And I was like, yeah, but I want it most when I don't want it. Because to me, freedom, that spirit of freedom and joy and whatever is something that I want reminding when I get too, like I was like, if I ever get too old, to think that that is something that I want on my body. So yeah, anyway, that's what I've got. I don't know, I don't have like anything in my head right now that I'm like, I need to get that, but I feel like that will probably happen in the future, because I love tattoos. So.
Yeah. I do too.
Anyway, thank you all for putting up with my very long-winded answer. And it's good to see you. And you were just in the photos too, right? Yeah, it's great to see you.
And so the question for me, because Meg 2.0 is my favorite, one of my favorite characters.
Love it.
I loved you because you were
Me too.
Badass. Is any kids? I'm sorry. But I just want to, I'm still angry about when you died.
Yeah, it's been long enough, I think.
But I'm still mad at the boys. I love the boys, but I'm still mad at them that they ran into the car and took off.
Right.
I'm still
and they never told Cass.
I know what happened. I'm just saying that I do all these like marathons of characters, and I just didn't want to use, and I just love it. I don't have a question. I just say, how do you feel about that?
I love you, so that's awesome. No, and it's so true. Like I loved her. I actually loved her exit. I love the fact that she did not question her loyalty for like a second. She just sacrificed herself. She did not make a big deal out of it. She saved the guys. Everything about that felt so right. But I do think it's hilarious that they've never, I guess it could have happened, but they've never had a scene where the guys are like Cass was like, whatever happened to that big chick? It never occurred. So yeah, I did think, I noticed that Jared did something nice where he actually gave that moment, he made it more of a moment, because he gave a look when he turned around in the car that was actually really, that meant something. Like, you could see he was really taking in that.
Just like, let's go.
Dean was like, I don't care. But Dean never much cared for me, because it's understandable, I guess. No, I mean, I think it's justifiable that the guys were not like so, crazy about Meg. She did, she did kind of make that bed, but I felt like Cass should have cared a little more. Yeah, but anyway, it was such a fun story arc. And one of the things I love about fantasy in general is that we get to imbue it and live with it as much, you're free in your imagination to take that story anywhere you want. And I feel like that's such an important message, especially when people get into vying for their ship is the only ship or whatever, and it's like, you know what? There's so much room in the universe for infinite number of possibilities. Let's make it a multi-dimensional, which it is, thing, and all these characters can be together, and and we can all enjoy our dreams coming true. And so for me, in one dimension, I definitely love the idea that Meg is looking out for Cass somehow, or, and that there's still, that love never went anywhere. But that does not in any way take away from anyone else's dreams or imaginations, because that can be happening too, if that makes sense.
I'm bi, so it's good.
Awesome. Let's have it all. Well, one of the things, by the way, also, one of the things I loved about those two characters together is I did not feel like they either one fit any kind of traditional gender paradigm. And you know what? The likelihood is also they were both male and female multiple times throughout history. So it didn't, I didn't feel like as a, couple, if you even want to make them that, I don't care. They, to me, that there was a love, she loved him. You can make that any kind of love you want. That doesn't, there's no box that needs to fit in. But also I like the fact that it wasn't like she was traditional female role of, I was like, no, she was just her. And even using the pronoun she's arbitrary. So anyway, thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
So I wanted to ask, how does going to these cons and doing all this, meeting new people, how does it affect you, and how do you, how does it, how has it changed you?
It's literally been, it's the reason why I'm here existing and happy and fulfilled as a human being, FYI. No, I don't mince words. When I say I genuinely love everyone here, I genuinely love you all, and it is because of you that I learned that I could fit, that I could exist, that I was valid in this world, and I want to give that back to everyone else. It's a wonderful freedom, especially after getting sick. The fact that you still embraced me and still let me come out and be me, and the fact that, thank you. And the fact that, in these panels, what I love is we're now fluidly we cover every subject. It's incredible. It's what's the nature of existence, and what's your Hogwarts house, and what lightsaber do you use, and Meg and Cass kiss, and I don't know, you name it, it all goes. And I think that's incredible. I don't have to put on any show for anyone. It's just we're all friends. There's that. And to feel that sense of belonging is everything.
That's awesome.
So thank you.
Yeah, I've been I'm just as much of a fan now as I was when you were on Sons of Anarchy. So
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, hi.
Yes.
So it's really good to see you.
It's really good to see
It's
you.
my birthday weekend. And
Happy birthday!
Here. Thank you.
That's awesome.
So I don't know if this question was asked before, but if you had a gag reel of your life, what would be in it?
I've never been asked that question. That's hilarious and awesome. Oh my goodness. I feel like so much, but maybe a lot of things that some people would think were like tragic moments, I would put in my gag reel. Like to me, I'm like, the funniest thing is often how off I can go. like, oh, I did that really badly. That was an epic fail. I think those are really funny to me. So there'd be a lot. I mean, my gag reel would be chock full, and I'd probably be the only one laughing hysterically, and everyone would be like, "This isn't very funny, Rachel." I'd be like, "No, it's hilarious." I can think of one of my. Okay, so there was a while, and again, it's very on territory that's a little inappropriate to laugh at, but it's me, so I can laugh at it. Like, as I was physically deteriorating and struggling, I would go to the gym every day, and I was like determined. I was like, I can do this. But it was really hard, and I was like failing at a lot of things. But I kind of felt invisible, and it was like my own inner battle and stuff. And I remember one day, someone at the gym I was going to said, just wanted to tell you, like, I'm a fan of Supernatural, and you're such an inspiration to all of us. The fact that you keep coming every day, like that, like, we've been watching you for years, and I all of a sudden realized, like, oh, it's really not anonymous. And I don't know what I was doing like, a lot of these times, and I'm sure it was not elegant. There was at least one of those days that I remember. So I was also, my feeling is a little bit off. So I don't, like, it's like when you sit on your legs and you get pins and needles, how like you can feel some things a lot and other things not so much or whatever. It's like the nerve signals are just not quite correct. But because of that, I'm not, like, I can't always feel if I have pants on.
That's amazing.
You know where this is going. So I was walking, I was trying to make it to the bus, and I was struggling, and I was using my cane at the time, and it was like, all of my focus was on trying to stay balanced, and I thought I felt a breeze. But I wasn't sure if it was in my head, and I looked down, and sure enough, my pants were around my ankles. But I actually couldn't figure out a way to stay balanced and pull my pants up. So I had to, like, walk down the rest of the street, like, struggling with, like, my pants around my ankles, as, like, with my cane. Like, there are moments like that would be on the gag reel, just FYI. So yeah, I don't know if that helps.
Oh no, it did. That was
Okay, I have one more. Pre-sickness. One of the first nights I spent at an ex's, I remember I went to go get us coffee in the morning, and I cannot equate this has nothing to do with the MS. I went to get us coffee, and I came back, and I've always had that kind of ridiculously optimistic thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was so nice. The guy gave us free coffees, and like he wouldn't let me pay and whatever. And my boyfriend at the time, he looked at me and he said, yeah, because your tits hanging out. And sure enough, my shirt was gone. So yeah, that was how I made a first impression. That would be on the gag reel.
So lots of naked Rachel on the gag reel.
Free coffee.
Hey Rachel, I'm Wendy.
How are you?
I'm tired.
By the way, I want to say again, happy birthday. Sorry, you're tired?
Yeah, always. Anyway,
My question is what is the most interesting thing you've had to learn to do for a role?
The most interesting thing I've had to learn to do, one of the things I enjoyed the most was for one role I had to do like intense fight training with someone who he'd come up in the Chinese school of fighting wushu, and he was like one of Jet Li's partners, and that was intense. It was really difficult, but to me, it's really fun to challenge yourself in that way. And I love the fact that at first he called me girl, and I felt like that was a little bit. It was like I didn't really exist to him, whatever, and he didn't expect me to be able to do anything. And I held strong through the training, and there were points I wouldn't take a break until he wanted a break. So there were points my muscles were all shaking and stuff, and he started calling me by my name, and I felt like that was a point of pride. That was my most fun I've ever had training for a film and learning a new skill.
As a stunt person, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
No problem.
Well done for being a stunt person. No wonder you're tired. Awesome.
Hi.
Hey.
If the writers would bring you back for season 15, what would you like to happen to Meg?
I honestly, so the way I feel with the show is every time I've read a script, it's like opening a present at Christmas. I don't want to know ahead of time. I want to see what they dream up. I love that character and that show so much that to me, it would actually take away from it to dream up something and want that and try to control it myself. I actually love the gift of being able to experience the show, so I would want to open that package. I would love to see that. And as I said, I would like it to involve Cass somehow, definitely. But other than thinking that, I'm I'd be open to so many different things. Do you have something in mind?
I think a romance with Cass would be good.
I do have one thing that I would insist on, is that I would be using an assistive device of some kind, that I would be in a chair. Because I have been asked, at panels before, would you cheat the walking or whatever? I'm like, no, because I think I would love to see better representation, especially of strong women with disabilities.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Rachel.
Hey.
I absolutely love when you are on the Wayward podcast. Thank you so much for being on there. My question is, are you going to be on again soon? And if so, what are some topics that you would like to discuss on the podcast?
I love that so much. I love those two women so much. I love doing that show, and it's hilarious. The reason why I laugh when you say that is I had so much fun, but also I had no filter. I don't have a filter when I'm with those two women. I would talk about absolutely anything with them. Again, I don't have something in mind, but I love the range of topics, and I know that one of the things that's wonderful is that I feel comfortable with the two of them enough to explore anything and everything. And I think it is important that we talk about, my favorite thing is talking about those things that we might be afraid to, because I think that opens really cool doors. So, do you have something that?
No, kind of the same. I love how you start with a topic and then it branches off in all sorts of different directions and comes back, but everything is open and honest and real, and it's wonderful.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for them. I'm really I'm proud of them. I'm yes, they are amazing.
Hi, Rachel.
Hey.
So I was just kind of wondering, what's the weirdest thing you've ever had to film, and what's the hardest thing you've ever had to film, and how did they change you or affect you?
Holy moly. You know that I started acting when I was 9 years old full time, so that's a lot of years. The weirdest thing, I'm like, my brain is going to so many different places. I mean, I've filmed so many weird things. I know one of the weirdest lines I ever had to say, I was playing a cannibal, because of course I was, in a post-apocalyptic world. And I said, they eat people for food. I felt like that was one of the strangest lines. I also, in that, I think I was like hit with a club and my eyeball fell out or something. Like, it was really odd. I've done some weird things. And then, okay, so weirdest, you said most fun, was it?
Hardest.
Hardest.
How it, like, changed or affected you.
Hardest? Well, literally, I think from a physical point of view, the hardest, that job where I was saying I trained with the Chinese wushu stunt person. So the way that a lot of stunts are filmed in China is that actually the stunt coordinator does the filming of the stunts themselves. And so he was actually filming a sequence where they had me going out on, these bars over a staircase, but it was like really high up. It was like 12 stories up or more. And he was walking backwards when he was filming on this bar. And I was absolutely convinced that if I messed up, he could die at any point. Like, I literally, like, it was a possibility. There was no nets or anything like that. This was not a well thought out scenario. And he was very brave, but it scared me. I didn't like the responsibility of holding someone else's life in my hands. So yeah, so that was like, I think that was actually, that's up there for sure, of like the hardest. And I was on heels, and it was really hard to balance. And then, what was the, and how did it affect me or change me? I feel like all of the characters have stayed with me and affected me and changed me in all of these experiences. My unicorn, if I had, by the way, have you seen Unicorn Store yet?
I have not. It's on my list though.
I enjoyed it. Well, this one is named Clarence. And we all know why. It's hard for me to think of a unicorn named something else at this point. But for me, like, so I grew up loving fantasy of all kinds. So I love every kind of magical creature and scenario and whatever. I think I was more like into fairies than unicorns as a young person. But the unicorn thing, what I love is that's been shared so much with this supernatural family. That's something like we all created together. And so I love unicorns more and more because of everything it's come to mean to me. So it's hard for me to not associate unicorns partly with that. So I automatically go to that, like, yeah, but Cass was my unicorn. So I go to those names, like Clarence. But I think there are so many valid, beautiful ways to imagine a unicorn. So what's your unicorn's name?
Sprinkles.
Sprinkles. I love that. And you have to go watch Unicorn Store. That has to happen.
I will.
Beautiful. I love that. And what do unicorns mean to you?
Just always keep dreaming and believing, never give up on magic.
Same. Yeah. I love that.
Thank you.
The worst thing.
Hi, I have a question. I
Yes.
follow you on social media, of course, and I love your poetry. Are you planning on maybe doing a book or a bigger reading tour at some point? Because I think it would be very well received.
That is the coolest question. Thank you for that. Like, seriously, thank you. It's not, I started sharing, it was mostly poems that I wrote as a young person. And then like I've started more stream of consciousness. Sometimes I'll write and share poems. I've never had much thought to what was going to happen with that, but it would be absolutely a beautiful like dream to. I've always wanted to be a writer, but never really been allowed myself to be that. So that acknowledgement means a lot, and it'd be super fun to do sometime. And I love getting to share. I think poetry is such a healing and wonderful thing, and I hope that it's an art that's not lost in this world. And it's a form of expression that I find to be really healing and good. So yeah, I would love to do that at some point. I think I love that idea.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My question is, if Meg could come back on the show but only as human, what do you think she would like to experience, and what would she like to do?
As a human, I think probably there's a couple things she never got. I don't think she got like human connection or love or any of those things. I don't think she ever got to, it's certainly been a very, very long time being a demon that she never got to experience that. So I don't know if that's what Meg would want. I don't know that she'd want to, certainly don't think she'd admit that that's what she would want, but I think that I would love to see her have that. What about you? Is there something you'd like to see her have?
Emotion, I guess. But I think she experienced emotion as demon because she got attached to Sam and Dean, obviously. Cass. Yeah. So
I completely agree with you. I think she experienced these things. I just don't think she knew how to name it or how to admit it. So I would love to see her get the chance to actually own that, if that makes sense. And by the way, are you from France?
yes, I can hear it.
Yes, it's beautiful. You have a beautiful accent.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Are there any more questions? If not, yeah? Hello.
Hi, Rachel.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I had a photo with you last year.
I love that. It's
Thanks.
good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Okay, so my question is just kind of out there, but I'm going to go for it.
Go for it.
Do you think when Cass was in the empty that maybe he passed up where Meg was? You know, like walking in a circle?
Well, I'd be pretty annoyed if he just like walked by. I mean, I guess it's a possibility, but that's kind of not cool. So yeah, I don't know. I like to think that like, no, he didn't have a chance to rescue Meg and just like, was like, not today. So I'm gonna vote no on that one.
I feel like Cass would have helped Meg out. I feel like the real Misha would have blown you off. I think that's
That's probably what it is.
that's the sad truth. I'm kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, you know her, you love her. That's Rachel Miner right there. Boom.